The Cloud. The Cloud, Lynette Rutledge.
Good morning, Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and friends. Mimi Lucille Wilson DuBose Rutledge. That was my mother. She grew up in a little town named Flatbush, Alabama. Now, first of all, how you have a bush that's flat confuses me. But then, how do you have the audacity to name a town after a flat bush? Maybe it was because my mother grew up in Flatbush that she felt she had to be ahead of her time. So even at the age of 19, my mother packed up everything that she had and left that sprawling urban area of Flatbush, population 50, and moved to Catherine, Alabama, a metropolis with a population of 51. Now, my mother, as I just mentioned, was ahead of her time. She was on point. She was into communication, for example, before communication was cool. My mother could bring you into a conversation and make you feel so welcome, like she was your best friend. She would often engage people, talk to them about their children, talk to them about what happened at church, talk to them about what was going on at the job, even pray with people, hug them, love on them. She was also very humorous because many people didn't know that as she walked away with me, she would ask Lynette, who was that? My mother was also cutting edge on psychology, even back in the 70s. Oh, she was a forerunner. People didn't know it, but she was a forerunner nonetheless. She had what we began to call circular reference psychology. That's where you start with a concept or a compliment, and then follow it up with something very blatant that contradicts the compliment that you received. So for example, we were in a mall, my mother saw a lady. This lady obviously felt that she was well-to-do. She had a fluorescent green hat on. She had an orange suit on. She had on sweat socks with the neon blue stripes around the top. And she had on patent leather black heels. Now ladies, we know that doesn't work. But she was strutting through the store as though she was a peacock. And my mother looked at me and she said, Lynette, she would be so attractive in that outfit if it wasn't so ugly. My mother was even ahead of time when it came to health and healing and wholeness. Even to include colon cleansing. So she had a ritual. And on Saturday mornings, what she would do is she would brew senna tea. Now, for those of you looking at me like, what is senna tea? You know it. Senokot, laxative. This was an herbal tea that helped with your regularity. And so our Saturday routine was to brew the tea, get about our chores, wrap up the day, get ready for church on Sunday. This Saturday started off no differently. She brewed her tea, but she had phone calls from the metropolis of Catherine. So the tea steeped a little bit longer than it normally does. It steeped for about, let's say a half hour. But committed to her regimen. My mother would not leave the house for our chores, and our main chore on Saturday was grocery shopping. She would not leave the house before she took in her tea. So she drank her tea, and off to the store we went. Everything seemed normal. My mom even had a couple of, well, who is that, conversations along the way. And she got in the aisle, things were going well. And I noticed that at a point where she was reaching for the cereal I wanted, she seemed to slow down just a little. Sweat formed. She doubled over. Mom, what's going on? She gave me the finger, not the bad one. As if to say, wait a minute. And then she said these words. The tea! The tea was doing what it had been ingested to do. It was working. So my mother seemed to have regrouped, regathered herself, and she kept going with her stroll. Well, the next thing I noticed is that she doubles over, she slows down again. The tea, yes, a tea! Okay. I see her look, and it's as though she sees hope at the end of the tunnel. It's the restroom door. And my mother, with determination that I've never seen, began to sprint as quickly as the tea and stomach would let her. She made it to the restroom. She put her hand on the lock. She turned the door. She heard a click. The door was locked. With a look at the peak that I've never seen on my mother's face, it was as if she just gave in. And she let it go. The earth shook. Thunderous sound. I think I saw a green cloud. But just happy that it turned out to be only air.